I had an idea of sharing a favorite book of mine with you and having a story time, and I'll read it chapter by chapter. So each video will be a different and new chapter. And this is called The Flapper Wife by Beatrice Burton. She also goes by the name Beatrice Burton Morgan, and this was written in 1925. And here we go. It's fabulous. All right. The Flapper Wife, Chapter 1. It was the last night of Gloria's girlhood. Tomorrow would be her wedding day. With troubled eyes, she stood looking down at the white satin dress spread out on her bed. It had been worn by two other brides, her grandmother, and later by her own mother. But I certainly don't intend to have the kind of life they had. Gloria shook her bobbed head at the white walls of her room. Her dead grandmother, whose work-worn hands had raised 10 children. 10 children, think of it, Gloria shuddered. Not for me, she said aloud, not if I know myself. Of course, Dick might want children. He probably would. Most men did want them. Why not, since they had none of the bother and pain of having them? They could go on living their lives while their wives lost sleep and freshness caring for the children. They could rush about doing as they pleased, for their women were safe at home, chained to the cradle. No, she was not going to have babies, not even one. So that was that. Then Gloria's thoughts flew downstairs to the sitting room. She knew her mother was there in the old rocker, mending stockings. She was always mending, and still the basket was always full. It held an endless job. Poor mother, how hard she worked. There was nothing for her but housework and her family, year after year. Ye gods, what a life! A woman was either a slave or a doll. But if she was a slave, it was her own fault. And that's all there was to it. Gloria had made up her mind that she was through with hard work forever last week when she had said goodbye to her typewriter and her job. Gloria lifted the old wedding dress from the bed and put it on a clothes hanger in the closet. But the silk was heavy, and the dress slid off into a heap on the floor. "Mother," Gloria called downstairs, "will you come up here right away? I want you to help me with this tricky dress. It keeps falling off the hanger." Gloria Gordon's mother was a small, brown wren of a woman. All her life she had babied her beautiful daughter. Now she hung the dress neatly in the closet. Then she turned down Gloria's bed and put a hot water bottle between the sheets. "Dear me, Gloria," she fretted, "I don't know how you're ever going to get along without me to take care of you when you're married and gone." "Don't you worry about me," the girl answered. "I'll be taken care of all right. That's what I meant today when I told you I didn't want to learn anything about housework. You see, if I don't know how to do it, Dick will have to hire a maid for me right from the start." She set her lovely mouth in a firm red line. "I had different ideas when I was a bride," Mrs. Gordon said quietly. "I thought a woman ought to help her husband." "I know you did. Your idea of married life was to take care of your husband. Mine is that he is to take care of me," Gloria shrilled. "Where you ran a carpet sweeper, I'm going to run an automobile. I've made up my mind that I'm going to be Dick's sweetheart, not his housekeeper. I'm going to stay in bed every day till noon and keep my looks and my husband." She crossed the room to her dressing table. She leaned forward and studied her face in the mirror. She knew that she was beautiful. She had red gold hair and dark eyes and lashes. Her skin was smooth and white as a gardenia. and the forces that had modeled her features had made them clear and fine. But behind this sweet and womanly mask she was wildly discontented and eager for life. And life with a capital L was beginning tomorrow with her wedding day. Tomorrow she would burst forth like a butterfly from its cocoon and fly away, away from the shabby house and the alarm clock that had wrenched her from sleep at 7 every morning for the last 2 years, away from the necessity of working 6 days a week as a typist for a real estate firm. And mixed up with Gloria's love for Dick Gregory was an enormous gratitude toward him for taking her away from all this to a life of ease with him. At least Gloria intended that it should be ease, and luxury too. She was tired of penny pinching and hard work, dead tired. A job and a business career were all very well in their way for girls who weren't beautiful and desirable, girls whom men didn't want. But with a face like hers. Then she turned out the lights above the dressing table. She climbed into bed, pulled the covers around her shoulders, and sleepily kissed her mother good night.